So you can see, Max, how I've got it all set up here. Walk. So I'm going to look ahead to where I want to go. Right over here. And then straighten out my reins so it straightens her out. Remember, you want to go straight down the rail. You don't want to have her head turn too much to the inside or the outside. Walk. And then look ahead. Look ahead for any danger, anything that might be coming your way. And you look ahead over the carts when we go around the corners. And then make her straight. So now you look through her ears. And then going around the corner, I'm going to look at that black pony over here. There. And I'm going to turn. When I go to look at the black pony, it's not just with my head, it's with my body, my shoulders. And then go straight. Look between her ears. Good girl. Now, if I were not to look ahead at my corners, or around my corners, you see how she puts her head to the outside and she can't go anywhere. And that's when she puts your leg into the wall because she really can't go anywhere. So around this corner, again, I'm going to look around, use my shoulder. Don't let her pull too much on my outside rein here, just by holding it steady. But my inside hand's going to follow my shoulder. There. So now I'm going to go in a circle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lengthen my outside rein and keep my inside rein where it is, but I'm going to switch my whip over to go behind her. Good girl. And I'm going to bring my left shoulder back, sorry. Oh my gosh, my inside shoulder, this hand. Inside shoulder back. And I am going to walk with her a little bit, that's okay. There. Now I'm also going to keep looking ahead to where I want her to go. Where I need to know. That was funny thing. I need to know where I want her to go next at all times. Who walk. Who walk. Good girl. So I want her to go over here. Good girl. There. So what I did when she kind of wanted to go to that wall is I didn't run at her belly. I ran behind her as if I was walking behind her before. So you can see how when I go to walk, I'm going this way. I'm going sideways almost. As if I was going to walk right behind her again. And I'm keeping my right shoulder back, so it tells her to go on a circle still. Not really worrying about my outside rein. Good girl. Yeah, and always looking ahead. So I always know where I want her to go next. At every single moment, every single stride, you tell her where to go. Where you want her to go next. What you want her to do next. Ho walk. Ho walk. She's not listening, so I'm going to increase the pressure on her mouth and then let it go when she does. Walk. Keep my left shoulder back. Oh my gosh, I'm getting confused between the two. So left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Now if she comes in too much, then I bring my right shoulder back. Just a tiny little bit. Enough to tell her, no, you go to the outside. And then I bring my left shoulder back again because we're going this way still. Walk. And she's kind of looking away from me, so I'm going to shorten up my inside rein just a little bit. You can see I just went like this with my fingers. That's all that she needs. She doesn't need this whole big this here, otherwise you see she turns and looks at me too much, and that's when you get into that situation where you get them all tangled up. Out. Inside shoulder back, so that's my left shoulder right now. Walk. You see she's stopping, so I'm going to go behind her. I'm going to give her a, and I don't care if she trots. There. And I'm going to keep behind her, so I'm going to keep walking sideways in a circle. And I'm not going to use too much of my left rein. I'm going to bump her with it every so often just to remind her what she's supposed to be doing. But I'm going to keep my left shoulder back at all times. She's got beans today. Good girl. Left shoulder back. Inside rein bump, which is my left one right now. And it's not a like this here. It's just a, hey, pay attention. Pay attention. Yeah, your stirrup is going to help you with that bump. So you don't really have to do that very hard. And always going forward. So I'm always walking towards the end of her tail, almost until I get there. I mean, you don't want to go like this at her, otherwise she's going to run. But I'm walking as if I'm going to grab her tail, but keeping my left shoulder back so I can watch her and know where I want to go next. Good girl. And you see she's happy with that. Oh, trot. And if she goes too fast, I'm going to tell her I don't want that by squeezing my fingers and telling her trot. Left shoulder back. Know where you want her to go next. So I always want her to go this way, so I'm going to know I want her to go to Calvin. Now I want her to go to the door. And we're going to say, whoop, trot. Now I want her to go back to Calvin and back to the door. Back to Calvin. There she kind of looked at the door and I said, no, we're going to go to Calvin now. So right here, Calvin. Trot. Good girl. And door. And you can pick a spot. Pick any two spots along your circle, so you can pick truck. Then pick wall. Good girl. And if she goes to pull on that outside rein, you get behind her. You get behind her like this, and you grab almost as if you're going to grab her tail and get her to move. Good girl. And then you bring your inside shoulder back. And then to ask her for a walk, I'm just going to squeeze my fingers. I'm going to slow my body down, relax my shoulders, and say, whoa, walk. Whoa, walk. When I squeeze my fingers, it's a squeeze and give. A little harder until she walks. Good girl. Yeah. So now we are going to ask her for a canter. And we're going to ask her the same way we would as if we're riding her. We're still going to keep our inside shoulder back to tell her to go on a circle. You're going to go from Calvin to the door, from the door to Calvin. But again, the only thing is that you can't use your leg. I'm going to switch my hand here because my hand gets really sore. Walk. So we're going to go to Calvin. There. So what we're going to do is we're going to bump the outside rein until she bends her head slightly to the outside. And I wouldn't do it unless she's on a rail. I'm going to go to the door now. Back to Calvin. Just because if she's off the rail, she can turn the other way. So I'm going to use my outside rein. And I'm going to give her a little bump and say, canter. Good girl. And she'll do that. That's just her getting used to it. There. And when she did that, I actually let go almost of my outside rein, but not completely. Just enough so it didn't go up her butt. And then I'm going to bring my inside shoulder back, which is my left right now. Since she's going to the left, I'm going to use my inside rein just a tiny little bit. I'm just going like this, just to get her to pay attention. And remember, you don't have to do a whole lot because your stirrup is going to help you with that too. Your stirrup adds some weight onto that rein. You see how that stirrup bounces when I squeeze? So it's going to help you. Hello, Tracy. And always keep her going forward. So if I need to, I'm going to go behind her and ask her to go forward somewhere now. So she's switched her lead. So now we're going to use our outside rein. Get her to the outside and say, canter. And then back to the inside rein. Back to your left rein. And now since this rein is nice and loose, I'm not going to let it go through my hand anymore. It's in a spot where I like it and where she's comfortable. Canter. And right there she wanted to go to the inside of the corner. So I said, no, we're going to go to the door. So we're going to go to the door. Now we're going to go to Calvin. We're going to keep cantering. And then we're going to go to the door. And then we're going to go back to Calvin. And we're going to stop at Calvin. Oh, now we're going to the right now. So my right shoulder is going to be back. My left shoulder is going to be forward. And we're again going to say, go to Calvin. Once we get to Calvin, we're going to say, go to the door. We're going to head for the door. We're going to give her a spot to look at. There. And then go to Calvin by using our shoulders. And when you go to use your shoulder, your right shoulder back, your right hand is going to go back. And if she goes to stop or slow down, you get behind her as if you're going to grab her tail and you make her go forward. But I didn't ask her right there, so I'm going to say, whoa, walk. And squeeze my fingers. There you go. Good girl. And just remember, if you go to not look ahead or not know where you want her to go next, she's going to turn in. I'm going to make her turn in here. She's going to turn in like this. And she knows better with me, but I'm going to make her turn in. She's going to turn like that and say, what the heck do you want? And that's how you get a horse a little bit tangled up. You can see she's still turning. Whoa. Whoa. Good girl. And then if she gets tangled up, you just come up to her nice and calm. And think about what you need to do. So I need to go forward a little bit. She's standing on that one. Good girl. Whoa. Whoa. And then back to what you were doing. So I was going to the right, so I'm going to go on her right side. And flip this over her neck. And get all this line over on my side so that she doesn't step on it. But that's what happens when you don't look ahead to where you want to go. And that's what she's doing. Yeah, get this all tangled. There we go. And I'm going to get this over to me again so she doesn't step on it. There. And then I'm going to ask her to come this way. So a little bit of right rein. I'm not doing anything with my left. And walk. There we go. And then I let the line go. Or the rest of the line, I should say. There. So that's what happens when you don't look ahead. Now I made her do that just because she knows better with me. And I also know with her that I have to look ahead no matter what. Walk. Otherwise she will do that. So if she goes to do that, you don't want to pull on her. What you want to do is just what I did. You come up to her side that you were on before, like this side was the right side, and you figure out what you need to do. And then you continue on. There. And don't forget, when you go to make her go forward, you have to pretend that you're going to grab her tail. So you're going to come up and grab her tail like this. Almost like this again. So just like what we were doing before, but not this much though. And then I'm going to go back onto a circle, so right shoulder back again. Make sure she's kind of looking at me. Walk. And then we're going to ask her for a trot. Trot. Switch my hand here. There we go. So right shoulder back because she's looking to the outside. I'm not going to use this hand. I'm just going to squeeze and give with my right hand now. And that is this one now. So right hand, squeeze and give. It's not going to pull. Otherwise you're going to have her looking at you again. And I'm going to say, go to the door. You don't actually have to say it, but I'm going to say it in my mind now. We're going to go to Calvin over there. And then we're going to go back to the door. There, and I'm only moving the camera quite a lot so you can see where I'm looking. So I'm going to go to the door, or where I want to be. And then to Calvin. And then I'm going to say, no, go to the door. Not with too much inside hand, not with too much right hand. I'm just going to bring my right shoulder back and keep my hand steady. Walk, or trot, sorry. Yeah, good girl. And then to the door. And there she wanted to go and stop in the corner, and I don't care if she cantered, but I'm going to say, whoop, trot. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, because she did go forward, but I'm going to tell her, no, I want you to trot. And then back to Calvin. There. And I don't know if you can see, but every time I turn my shoulder, she turns her head, so to the door. There, she looked at me. And then to Calvin. And there she looked at me. You want to keep doing that. And again, you don't have to have the door and Calvin as your thing. Whoop, trot. There. You can say to the horse head. Or to the pink bucket. As long as you have a spot to tell her where to go to at all times. Ooh. Woo. I'm going to slow my body and squeeze my hands. Increase the pressure until she stops. Make sure my reins are even because my outside rein was too long. It was flopping. Woo. Woo. Good girl. Then when she does halt like that, I give my hands forward. Relax it right off her mouth. So I used my driving lines to show you this. You can use 2 lunge ropes like you've been doing, as long as it's okay with your Oma, if you can borrow a lunge rope. But eventually, you do want to get a lunge rope of your own.